Get Warrior Tough, Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
All right, we're back at it. Dutch and Andrew, Andrew and Dutch. GetWarriorTough.com. Dutch, we're talking about pressure proofing. Right before the break, that whole first segment, we talked about confidence, doing the prep work. And when your confidence level is high, when you know what you're doing, Peyton Manning said, pressure is something you feel when you don't know what you're doing. And this is why people are stressed out, because they don't know what to do, they don't know how to do it, and they don't know when to do it. But guess what? We have a process that tells them exactly all those three things, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, you got the people out there that has the false confidence. False confidence usually reveals itself.
Oh, yeah.
You know, either you get punched in the mouth or you get knocked on your tail. So pretending like you're confident is just like a Band-Aid or something. It's like a facade, right? But it's going to eventually reveal itself. So you might as well get some real confidence, and that exists. The root of it is knowledge.
It really is. And we're not talking about like swag confidence. I'm talking about I know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. All right, so the next thing, the next tool in our toolbox, our mental toughness toolkit for pressure proofing is anticipation. Now, when you first hear that, people are like, what are you talking about? You know, here's another. I'm going to channel all the sports guys tonight, right? Wayne Gretzky, you heard of him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Great hockey player. He said this, a good hockey player plays and skates where the puck is, but a great hockey player plays and skates to where the puck is going to be. And this is anticipation.
No question about it. And, you know, this really applies to every major sport and every, you know, if you think about the tenets of baseball, you know, you don't wait till if you wait till the baseball gets across the plate, it's a strike. You know, you're swinging too late. You have to know. If you're a quarterback and you're throwing it to a receiver, you're leading the receiver. The receiver's going to where the ball is going to be, and the quarterback's throwing the ball to where the receiver's going to be at the point where they meet. So, in soccer, any sport, if you notice, there's always a leading pass because you have one guy running this way and the ball has to meet them there. If you pass it to the guy where he was, it's going to be going the other way.
Right, so that guy needs to go where the ball's going to be. Okay, so it's not just sports, Dutch. It's everything in life. And I'll tell you now, you know, Drew is down at the Citadel. I just spoke to him before we came on the air real quick, and he's doing fantastic. He loves everything down there. He can't get enough of it, and he's having a great time. And he shouldn't be if you listen to all the stories and all the horror stories and all the you're a knob and Hell Week and hazing and all that stuff. He shouldn't be, but he's absolutely loving it. Now, the reason is because he anticipated before he got down there that it would be what it would be, and he was ready for it. Now, there's other kids, and we know them. We know kids that did not anticipate where the hockey puck was going to be. They didn't anticipate that they were going to get yelled at. They didn't anticipate that this was a military college. They didn't anticipate that, and they were behind the curve every step of the way and getting their gear and going to, you know, reading all the information on getting, you know, the PT ready and all that stuff, and they quit, man. Oh, we call it they're like, I transferred out. I'm like, no, every other college you might have transferred out, but the Citadel and the service academies, you quit.
Yeah.
Because you didn't anticipate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I mean, that's a lifelong thing, man. Once you quit and you begin that pattern, it can become a devastating thing. So with all things, man, you might as well prepare and gain you some knowledge about the stuff beforehand, and get you some of that.
Well,
so,
this is anticipation.
Yeah.
Before you take the job, okay? So I mean, how many people do we talk to, Dutch, that they complain about their job?
Right. And you know, again, talking about anticipation, these are things that could have been anticipated. And we started off with confidence, and we start off with knowledge, right? So if you're going to walk into something, if you're going to go to the Citadel, you know, the good thing about Drew, and we always talk about this, is he had you and he had Kimmy, right?
Right.
So you and Kimmy were giving him information, anticipating what was about to happen to him. I mean, you were, quizzing him with all the different things, all different, you know, giving him knowledge about, okay, what's going to happen during this process. So at that point, you can anticipate what your experience is going to be like.
Absolutely. And then now, and actually, we dial it up so it's actually because we anticipated it, we made it harder. And you and I talk about this. This is what champions do. you train harder, you practice harder, you prepare harder, so that what you do in training, you sweat more in training, the less you bleed in battle is the line. So, right, so the more that you work now, the easier it is when there's pressure. So there's no pressure actually at all. So, like, listen, he doesn't like getting yelled at, because who does? But he anticipated, because I dialed it up so big in his life that anything less than that, he doesn't feel pressure. If it's less than some crazy combat vet Marine going off in his face, you know, he's not feeling the pressure.
No question. And when you look at the things that he's going through, when you've anticipated it, right? You know the full scope or the full scale of what's going to happen or what's possible, right? So now when you anticipate what the possibilities are, you're ready for all of it. You have an idea, and then in training for it, you've covered that entire scope. Okay, this may happen, this may happen, this may happen. So in anticipation, you and Kimmy were able to dial up certain situations ahead of time and get them the the rough practices in anticipation of what's going to happen. You can dial it up a notch, so then when it comes, it'll be
shocked.
Nothing.
Right? He's not feeling the pressure. Okay, now, one of the things I've been through a lot of driver training, and they even sent me, when I was an agent, they sent me to this moonshiner school out in West Virginia, right? Because I've been through like 8 driving schools: tactical driving, evasive driving, the racing school, the moonshiner school. Okay, but every one of them had this thing about when we're driving, they would constantly tell us, get your eyes up, get your eyes up, get your eyes up, get your eyes up, get them up, keep them up. Because if you're looking at the hood ornament, you can't anticipate what's coming. You got to get your eyes up to the horizon, and you will automatically make the course corrections naturally. Think about driving the car. When you were first driving the car and you were a teenager, you're like glued to the hood ornament trying to keep the thing between the... When you get your eyes up, you will automatically make the course corrections and anticipate what's coming now. And that's the same skill in life. As you want to pressure proof yourself and anticipate, get your eyes up and take the long view, the 50,000-foot view of life. And it starts with, what's your ultimate target? What do you want your life to look like in 20 years?
No question. No question. I mean, it's interesting that these are tools we're using one specific instance, but if people would just take a moment and think about it, it would apply in every single thing you do in life, bar none. From sports to relationships to health, because you want to anticipate, what's coming ahead in your life. That's going to determine how you eat, how you exercise, and all those things. So these things are not limited to anything. It's universal, and that's what makes these things so wonderful.
Right, and so let's talk about that with the target. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know what your destination is, if you don't know what the target is, how could you anticipate it? Think about, like, down here in South Carolina, and even up where you are, there's a lot of hunting, and deer season is coming. Okay, you have to lead the game. You can't shoot to where the game is. You got to shoot to where the game is going. If the game is moving, so you got to know your target. You cannot anticipate. You can't lead the target and hit it at the right spot if you don't know what the target is. So I would ask you, where do you want your life to be in 20 years, in 50 years? I have the 300-year plan. I know where it's going in 300 years. And because people are like, well, you're not going to make it. Oh, well, don't count me out. And because I'm anticipating a 300-year plan, I eat and I exercise and I sleep and I do all the things I need to do health-wise to make the 300-year plan, right? So because I'm anticipating that. If I didn't have that, listen, man, I like cakes, pies, and ice cream. I like fast food. I like eating junk. I love that stuff. However, because I have a target, I anticipate that's not going to help me get there.
No question about it. And the thing is, when people say you're not going to get there, those are the people who most assuredly not only not get there, but they don't even make it halfway.
Right. I remember when I first started saying stuff like this, people be like, oh, that's crazy talk. I'm like, yeah, I know. Your grandkids will be talking about it. They'll know me. You ain't going to make it, but your grandkids will know it. They'll see it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, your grandkids will know. See, because I'm anticipating, And listen, I'm not that, I'm not like a good looking guy. I don't have like ripped Magic Mike abs like you. But I figure, man, if I keep up with this, see that the competition gets easier as you get older. By the time I'm 80, I'll be a supermodel.
Yeah, they hadn't seen the Panama photo shoot either.
Yeah, you had to bring that up, right?
And then now I call him Mr. President because he looks so presidential. So yeah.
The competition, man. The older I get, the less competition there is to look good, man. So I'll be a supermodel by 80, man. I might even be on the runway. So, but this is anticipation, right? I know, right? What are we anticipating? So a lot of people, and you and I have had clients that were anticipating dying within a year.
Unfortunately, that's so true. And
they were making arrangements, man. They were making arrangements to check out of the planet, and they're not that old, man. They were like 50s and 60s. These guys.
And as many people that we come across, and other people listening have come across that have been told that was going to happen, and it did in fact happen. There's probably 3 times as many that's been told it's going to happen, and in fact, it didn't happen.
It didn't. In fact, out of their own mouth, one of them said, like, my doctors have told me 3 times that I've already beat their predictions. Then why would you believe the 4th one?
Amen, brother. That's
you've already just said in the same sentence. You already told us that you beat the doctor's expectations 3 times, but you're going to like blow it on this one. I didn't get that, man.
And that's exactly what we do as people. We 100% do that. We do that to ourselves, and I will never understand it. If someone tells you something over and over and over, and it's not true, you will believe it, and you will swear by it. You will change your lifestyle to fit that. You will shut everything down because someone told you. I mean, we've seen this. Someone told you have 6 months to live, so you shut it down. You shut life down 6 months before the even 6-month prediction, instead of ramping it up and living and trying to remedy or try to make a plan to live. They just make a plan to die. We've seen it. That's real. And you may have seen it from somewhere yourself, other people listening.
Right. So we changed his anticipation. We gave him a process. And then he started acting like, hey, man, and his life totally changed, this one guy.
Totally.
And, he went to work, man. He started building a house, his dream house that he had put on hold because he was going to die in a year. And his health changed. His health bills went down by $5,000 a month. And, I mean, it was really just a simple mindset change. I mean, we didn't really do all that much, Dutch. I mean, we just changed his mindset, man.
When you change the mindset, everything else follows behind that. But you have to change the mindset first, because you put the other things first, then the mind will derail you. If you have other things still clouding the mind, it's not going to come together. You have to begin with the mind. That's why we always begin with the mind. We begin with the internal. We begin with who's running the boardroom. And you've heard it out there, listeners, CEO of you. If it doesn't begin there, it will end very shortly.
No question. No question. So, a good hockey player skates and plays where the puck is, but a great hockey player skates and plays where the puck is going to be. Wayne Gretzky. So we want to anticipate. All right, Dutch, we're up on a break. We've got 3 more of these things if we get through them all. When we get back, we'll hit the next one. You're listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch and Andrew.